So a couple of different props that you could use. I might not use the ball today, but sometimes we can use the ball as a replacement. I've got some different types of rollers here. A lot of people only have the short rollers, and there are certainly ways that you can adapt some of the movements for the short rollers. But today, if you do have the availability to have a longer roller, that would be good. Some of the side to side movement can be done on a shorter roller. You just have to be really careful that you don't fall off. And then you can do some of these on a rumble roller as well. So rumble rollers are the ones with the big bumpy bits in them. This one's a little bit shorter, so I'm not going to do the spine so much. We'll do the spine a little bit later, and there are modifications. You can take a pillow or something to extend this out to support the head if the whole of the spine doesn't fit on your rumble roller, but it can be a little bit intense. So if you do have a firm or a softer 90 centimeter foam roller, that's your ideal one. And don't worry, we are working on getting some more in stock. They're just very difficult to get right now, but we will have them to offer to you. All right, I'm going to grab the medium-sized roller because we're going to start at the hips today. The sacroiliac joint is a really common spot, particularly when we hit around the glutes and stuff, around the piriformis muscle. We get some major culprits and things like sciatica and back pain. So I always lower myself on the roller in a way that you probably shouldn't do. You should probably come down to the floor and then scooch it underneath. That's the safer way, that as a yoga teacher I should be telling you to do this. And then just place the roller onto the back. Spend a moment or two just allowing the roller to elevate the pelvis and open up the back, particularly if you've been curving and rounding a lot through your spine, being seated, doing Netflix marathons lately. You might feel that this alone is enough for your body just to reintroduce some space in those low discs of the back where we tend to really compress down a lot. So if you get too much pain, or if you're on a little short roller, maybe you're just going to stay straight here and having that elevation in a supported bridge pose. You can grab a hold of the roller, you can snuggle the shoulder blades in to open the chest, just keep the neck in a comfortable position. You might want to engage the core slightly just to keep the back supported. If you're coming into a little bit more active practice here, I want you to think of your Pilates imprint. Pull your hip bones together and then pull your ribs and your hips in, but keep a length in your spine. One foot steps up, the other foot steps up. Imagine that you're squeezing your knees together to hold something, like a 50-cent piece in between your knees, or a ball of awesome socks, something that's going to keep you a $100 note. Keep you holding those knees together and the kneecaps in line. And then from here, we're going to allow a little tick-tock motion to pendulum the hips side to side. Now, if you're on a rumble roller or a particularly hard roller, this might be too much. The more you move out to the sides of the hips, the more likely you are to find some lovely little spots. Can you feel them? And if you're on the wrong part of the back, we're kind of rolling out. We don't want to be in the vertebra of the lumbar spine. We're really across that broad part at the back of the pelvis. Yeah, don't hurt your spine, everybody. Be very safe and mindful, and you'll listen to your body, and your body will say, that's the right spot, or that's not. We don't want to put a lot of pressure right on the back. It's more about being on the hips, which are pretty solid. They hold the weight of your entire body all day, of your upper body at least. We'll come all the way over to the left. So look at those kneecaps, anchor down, and then keep your neck in a nice, comfortable position, just so you're not creating any neck tension. We're going to circle the knees out. So slow little circles, 4 in one direction, squeezing the inner tips of the knees, and 4 in the other direction. Feel the breathing come into that cycle as well. So as the knees circle around, the breath becomes a circuit down the backbone as you inhale and up from the tip of the pubis all the way towards the collarbones, the chin, as you exhale out to the nose if you can. So 4 in each direction. Separate your knees, bottom knee. And you can really get into those outer hips if you take that knee a little bit deeper. Yum. And then the other way, it depends what you think. You might be making your ugly pain face. It depends what's happening in your body. And the top knee. Keep the bottom leg nice and stable, and to do that you just engage through the glutes. It's not a big, sorry, not through the glutes, through the belly, through the core. It's not a big motion. We're not trying to rock around. Rather, we're holding on a bit of a trigger point, and the circling of the knees is just like a masseuse's thumb circling into those little trigger points. The knees come together. Oh wait, open them out, and then go for a little walk here. So the bigger you make the motions, and again, not too much momentum, the more you'll feel that. Can you feel that? Isn't that nice? Fantastic. Nice and slow. And then you can rock even further over, bring the tips of the knees, maybe even take the chin in the opposite direction to give a little spinal twist, but you'll need to keep the engagement of the core. Use your exhale to begin to fan back to center. And if you've rocked off the middle of your roll and you need to reposition it, or if you're on one of those short ones, like a little typewriter, take it over to the other side. Float those knees up, engage your imprint, gentle lift through the pelvic floor. We're going to rock over onto the right side. Find the right spot for you. It might require a little bit of investigation. And then 4 slow, controlled circles in one direction. Don't be hasty. Take your time so you can really begin to get some movement of blood into the areas that are all bound up, those tight spots of connective tissue that become really compressed around this lower area of the back and in those glutes. So 4 in each direction. Once you've done the 4, separate the knees and just the bottom leg circles around. Go for a little hunt. Find the spot that needs attention. Around. And then go the other way. Circling around. Beautiful. And then the bottom knee is going to stay static, and we move the top knee, but not too much rocking. We're holding a static compression with the roller. 4 in one, and then 4 in the other. And if you're somebody that already uses their foam roller on a daily basis, congratulations. If you're not, you can always join us for these practices. And then we'll go for a little walk. But they're by no means the full sequence that you can do. What you can do with a foam roller seems almost unlimited. I'm constantly finding new and fun ways to use the foam roller to soften the muscles and the connective tissue. Knees together, hold on the juicy spot. Maybe chin in the opposite direction. Little spinal twist. Keep the core tight. And then when you're ready, squeezing the tips of the knees together, come all the way back to center. Beautiful. And reposition the roller if you need to. And just a little rock. So think of a Pilates imprint here. Think of pulling your ribs towards your hips. Sorry, other way around. Hips towards your ribs and pulling the tailbone away from you. And then just let the small of the back arch. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. But again, we're avoiding those sensitive spots in the low back. Okay, from here, pick your left foot up, find a recline pigeon pose. Press the knee away, hands anchor to the floor, and then we're going to rock side to side. So if you can, lift the foot up, and we're going to rock it over side to side, keeping that box-like shape through the legs. And the more you kind of come onto the side, the more you're hitting towards things like the TFL. So you'll notice I'm really rocking down to hit some of those outer hip muscles. And the other side. So we're starting with the low back, where so many people get a build-up of tension, and over to the other side. One more. And it's really calming because we're working with rhythm. So if you find a tick-tock pendulum motion and you match it to your breath, you should feel all that tension just beginning to melt away. Left foot comes down, right leg comes up. Open up the hip first. Peel some space into that back as you lengthen and open up the hip, almost like you're pulling the leg out if it's gotten compressed or stuck. It's like the head of the femur almost gets stuck in the hip socket. And then we'll lift up and we'll go for a little slow rock. Think of a baby in a cradle, the gentle way you'd rock the cradle. And we don't have to be in a hurry. It's a really nice one to do when you're watching TV, nice and slow. Now there's a real connection between the low back, the hips, and the inner thighs, and the hip flexors and the groin. Probably because they're all so closely connected, but we've got a lot of particularly big muscles that fan across several regions that pull in different ligaments and spots here. Come back to center, bring it down, move the roller down to the space where the hamstrings attach to the pelvis. Just let the legs come out and just take a little floss like you're conducting an orchestra. So it's like we've moved from up the top down a little bit lower. We'll just play a nice song, drop one leg, and I like to think of it as moving the muscle like it was a wave and you're sloshing it around the bone. So think of the extracellular matrix of that connective tissue being fluid, which it is. It's like a goo. And you're just going to slosh it around, then drop that leg into the other leg. You're also using a cross fiber technique. So you might see this in massage. It's really useful for breaking up scar tissue that we get pretty tight around some of these ligaments. Loosen it all the way up. I'm going to move down the leg, so I'm just going to move the roller to the midpoint. Position my roller in the middle, both legs together, and notice if one's tighter than the other. So if you've got some fascial restriction in one of your hamstrings or across the span of the back of the legs, you'll probably feel that one is a little stiffer. It's like just won't move as well as the other one. Just notice. And that's the one you're going to do for a little bit longer. So you're at home, you don't have to follow the count of the instructor. If you want to do like 10 to the right and then 7 to the left, you're allowed to do that. So I'm just sloshing around one leg. Almost done with that one, but if that's a tight one, maybe it needs extra love. Give it some. Pop it down and do the left leg. Beautiful. And just keep breathing. You'll probably find that you get pretty thirsty during or after the practice. So make sure to drink plenty of water. Slush it around. Slush, slush, slush. Beautiful. And then we'll move the roller down a little bit. And we'll do both the legs together, particularly as you come near the knee. You'll be like, there's some juicy bits. Juicy bits of fun. See if your lower back muscles can relax now that tension's been peeled away from the top of the hips and from the hamstrings. One leg, do the one that needs a little bit extra love first so you can make sure that you don't forget about it. Just loosening up that bone and the hip socket too. They can get sticky almost to our joints. And then the other leg, rhythmic slow breath like a broom. Just sweep the body clean of anything that's gotten bound or caught up, like a little dusting for the fibers of your body. Nice and slow. Really nice, hey? And then we'll just go down to the calf muscles. So we'll start all the way down, 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 and just open the hips. So turn your toes out, begin to bring the roller towards your groin, bring your feet forward. Get a nice compression, like you're trying to open up the arches of the feet by rolling the roller underneath. Take the legs out straight, toes open, and lift up. And then a few like this, just so we're getting the feet and loosening the hips in the socket. Press into the feet and then go out, roll the foot up and over. You might need to reposition the roller a few times during this one. Up and over. One more, and then we're going to go the opposite way. So now we're going to have the feet on the roller, press it away, open the legs out. Oops, sorry, wrong way. You're going to have the feet parallel as you bring the roller in, then open the knees and press it away. That's what I meant. Roll up and over, and then separate. Roll up and over. This is actually much easier in a rumble roller because it doesn't roll away so effectively. Up and over. One more, and as you do that, if you really roll the feet out to the corners, you might feel some of the outer calf just connecting with the roller. Up and in. Beautiful. And from here you can take a little rock out through the feet, so just trying to roll through the feet. It's not going to be the deepest massage in the world, but it feels nice. You can even lift the feet up here and just use the roller. So you could use the roller for hamstring work here, but what I'm doing is just kind of flossing into those arches. You can roll in and out as long as your core is strong enough to support your back. If that's hurting your back, don't do that. All right, I'm going to swing it around just so I'm not constantly looking in the other direction. It's a bit strenuous on the neck. And from here we'll come down to the very base of the feet. We'll move our way back up to the knee. And then we'll hit those inner thighs and the glutes. And if we have time, let's run out of time, we'll hit the quads. So, I don't think you can see the roller there. Maybe I should bring it the other way. I'm going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle up. So you can see the roller. It's going to come right into that Achilles tendon. And you can have a little roll and rock and take the toes out to the side. Just keep the core braced here because we'll prop up that low back if you need to, and then bring the toes in. A little rock. So it's just a small thing, like almost just as I'm going dush, dush, dush over the spot. And it's an exploration. Where you tighten tense. You might need to move the roller away. Beautiful. And then once you've got that sensitivity, sometimes we don't even know that we're tight down there until we start rubbing on it, and then we're like, oh wow, yeah, that's a thing. All right, bring the left foot and take that curve where the ankle and the leg bone meet and just go side to side. Side to side. Pendulum swings. You're going to find the juicy spot. You're going to pause there, and then you're going to circle your toes. Bring as much shape into the foot as you can. Give your foot a nice stretch here. So usually we're flat-footed all day, so if you can open up some arch in the foot that feels nice, go the other way. Big circles. If you roll in and then roll out, you'll hit the greatest surface area of fibers to break them up. And then you're going to find the juicy spot. You're just going to flex your foot, point your foot, flex your foot, point your foot, and flex, and point. It's like I'm in ballet class. And point one more time, and flex, and point. Beautiful. Let's do the other one. It's probably feeling pretty jealous. Sometimes I like to go side to side, just so I'm balancing the legs as I move up, particularly if you get interrupted halfway through your practice. You don't want to have done one leg and then the other leg just be like, hey, what about me? So I'm starting with the little pendulum side to side. The top leg's there just to add extra compression to get the depth. So it's like you're pressing harder. Get a bit of an elbow in there maybe than just a thumb if you were getting a traditional massage. All right. Maybe you found a juicy spot. We're going to circle out there. Where is the spot that your body needs that little bit of release? I certainly have a lot of tension around the ankles, and that's because with a lot of yoga poses where we're rigidly affixing the joints and then opening up and creating that contraction of the muscles seems to have really put some tension in that connective tissue, whose job is to stabilize certainly the joint. But when you're doing it a lot, it can get overly tight, and then that can become problematic because it restricts movement. Circling in the second direction. Find the juicy spot. Where is it? Whenever you find it, point and flex. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Last one, maybe two more because I'm not very good at counting. Point and flex. All right, let's come up a little bit higher, just to that kind of lower region of the calf, but not too high, and just do some little toe taps and out to the side. Have a little explore, maybe some little forward and back rocking. Engage your Pilates imprint, or make a little diamond out of your hands to support the low back if you're feeling any strain. Roll to the outside with the toes pointing to opposite corners of the room. There tends to be a lot of tension there. Roll to the inside. Have a little explore what's in there. Nice. And then we'll come into the middle and then roll to whatever spot needs the attention a little bit more on the left side, and circle it out 5 in one direction. No rush here. Take your time, close your eyes if you need to, and explore your tissues like you're pouring your consciousness into your body, other way, like you pour water into a glass. And circle, and circle, and circle. Where's the juicy spot? 5 points and flex like you're in ballet class. Make your pretty ballerina feet. Find a smile for your face. Grimacing won't actually help. And so when we find ourselves making the face, then we can let the face go. Come back to center. Bring yourself into that same spot on the other side and begin a little side to side movement of the foot. Let the breath blow the foot across. You feel that tension draining away. Calves are such a collection point for tightness. And then come to the spot that needs your love and circle it out. You can generally feel it. 5 and 4, no rush. 3, slow breaths, and 2 and 1. I always get so sleepy after this. Let's do another 5. You fall asleep, it's okay. You're still relaxing your muscles because they went all limp. And 2 and 1, and then we're going to point and flex, point and flex, point, flex, 2 and 1, and come up a little bit higher. So start with both legs together, out and in, out and in, out and in. Left leg, both feet stacked on, little explore. Come to the inside like you're trying to touch your toe down on the floor, and like you're trying to touch your pinky toe down on the floor. Little forward and back rocks. Find where the love needs to be. Circle it out. Try and spread your toes. I often find my toes are doing a lovely grip, and then it's nice to roll out your feet at the end of the practice if you're like me and you've been clenching your toes. Go the other way. There's no point releasing all of this tension from the calf if you're just going to tighten the back line by squishing your feet up. And 2 and 1. Beautiful work. Point. And sometimes if I've done the circles in one direction, I go in completely the opposite direction to do the point and flex. Point, hold the roller static, and just move the foot. So you're sliding and gliding the tissue over the compression point. Up, over onto the other side, and rock, and rock, rock, and rock, rock, and rock. One more because it feels good. Where are you going to pause today? Wherever that is. Slow circles. 5, 4. Keep breathing. I keep trying to I'm going to look the other way for my neck. Look at the camera, not that you can probably see me. 2 and 1. You probably don't want to see my face right now anyway. 5, 4, 3. Should come to roll and relax wearing a balaclava just so no one can see the facial expressions, not because of any other reason, although I don't know that there's ever a reason in Queensland to wear a balaclava, so maybe forget I said that. Give it a little rock, point and flex, point, there it is, flex, 3 to go, point and flex, and 2 and flex, and 1 and flex. Come a little bit higher up and just let the toes come in to touch and out to touch. You feel that whole decompression of the back, everything's loosening. Calves are super juicy, tight spots of tension. Left side, bring the foot on top, little forward and back rocks. Maybe you want to take a little half circle as you move and explore. And then when you find the juicy spot, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other way, go 5 and 4, 3 and 2 and 1. Beautiful work. And then flex and point, flex and point, flex and point, and 2 and point, and 1 and point. Swap it over, other side. So we'll just roll side to side, and then find the juicy spot, add a little rock to it. Just think of preparing the tissues by loosening the fibers so you can get that deep thumb or elbow in, and then circle it out. Circle, circle, circle. Sometimes if I can't quite find the spot, I'll do a broad circle, but if I know where I'm going, I'm just going to hone in on that little trigger point of tension. 5 in one direction, 5 in the other. Just let the ankle help turn the leg. It's a big chain here, so one part certainly does affect the other. And circle, beautiful, point and flex, point and flex, and 3, point. I'm still looking at the camera, even though I said I wouldn't. Point and flex, last one, and point and flex. Beautiful. Move the roller out of the way. Draw the knees in and just take a little recovery position on the side. We'll rock all the way up. Rock, rock, rock up. And it's time to hit those inner thighs. But I'm going to pause it there, and I'm going to come back and record the next part of the practice, which is inner thighs and quad hip flexors, a little bit later on today. And we'll do a bit of a longer class broken up into several sections over the day, just so I can fit it around all the different Zoom meetings and stuff. But these will stay up on the Facebook page, so you can access them anytime that you have that availability to get onto your foam roller. Take a little bit of time out. Don't forget to drink lots of water. You might want to take a stretch. You might want to take a nap if you're like me and you feel super relaxed after that practice. And I'll see you for a little bit more later on. Keep practicing, yogis. Keep looking after your body, and namaste. Whoop.